Okay.
I can't believe nobody else is here. Is Jerry out of town?
Okay.
Not yet.
Let's go ahead and start the meeting. We have a special meeting, Hermosa Town Board, Tuesday, January 27th at 5 p.m. tonight. Year's 2026. Roll call: Kramer.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
Coombs here. Service here. Matheny.
Here.
We do not have any attendees at this time because we intend to have an executive session. Please stand to the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have any changes for the current agenda? I think what I would like to propose is to just explicitly add the steps that the board must take to adjourn from the town board meeting and reconvene as a planning commission for purposes of public hearing. And then after the public hearing, we need to adjourn as the planning commission and then reconvene as the town board to continue the meeting to its fulfillment. So I'd like to propose, so under item 5, we have a new A, which is adjourn as town board and reconvene as planning commission for public hearing. And then the last item on item 5 would be adjourn as planning commission and reconvene as town board.
So that's A and B, one in the beginning, one in the end.
Would be A and C, and the one that's there now would be B.
Yep, sorry, thank you. Okay, I will second that motion.
Okay.
Isn't the planning commission identical to the board?
It's an administrative thing that we need to do to
Just to
identify.
account for a public hearing?
So,
Right.
yeah, just to address that, so the resolution about adopting TIFs just states the planning commission shall do da, 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 da.
Oh.
It doesn't actually say the town or planning commission, so because of that, you have to sit as a planning commission. Previously, Hermosa has passed ordinances which say that you have taken over the functions of the planning commission. The planning commission was essentially disbanded and made part of the board's duties. So you can simply do this by, just it's sort of a formality, but recognizing that you're sitting today in the capacity of the planning commission rather than as the board for the purposes of this statute, because that's what it says you're supposed to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love learning new things. Very good. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, do we have any further discussion?
I would just like to note to this board, in case this board doesn't know or remember it, that at any time we see fit that we could put in a planning commission again. If we get to the point where we're growing at that and we feel like we need a board to sit and for Neil to I mean, it really does take a lot of time. And if we ever get into the development as we hope to, we will need, I think, to do that. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody still knew that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any comments on the motion to accept as amended? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, very good. Conflict of interest declaration, as always. If there's any conflict of interest, please declare it now or when we get to the agenda item. Probably not going to happen tonight because we have a pretty light agenda, but you never know. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to enter executive session for the reasons stated in the motion.
I would make a motion to enter into executive session at 5:04.
I'll second that.
Okay, for what reason?
Is it personnel? Is that the only reason? Personnel, legal?
That's the main, yeah, that's the one you want to say.
Okay,
Personnel?
personnel.
Okay, we have a second.
I'll second.
Donna seconded.
Donna, sorry.
Sorry, Donna. Donna, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Recording's up, please.
I,
Go ahead.
I would make a motion to come out of executive session at 5:50.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. And then we were supposed to have let somebody in to do that.
Let's go ahead and recess the meeting until 6 p.m.
Okay, good.
I know, it's just,
He was teasing you, Donna.
I'm not teasing her, it's a hard rule.
I can't really talk about it.
Can't do any communication without it. You're really not supposed to record, I don't even think. so.
Well, yeah, Mark said this is an executive session done and I just went. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're nice flowers. I
Are
see.
you gonna call them right now?
It's how we're doing. That we do. So when you guys go over to the hall.
What's up?
Not even after the planning session.
Mind if I have your phone number?
I mean, the-
Just call you about any.
Yeah, I suppose.
You call me, okay, you got my phone number? So 5-390-8612.
My name's Linda. Town Board Vice President.
He's got two in that. Yeah, I sure got it.
Am I blind? Oh, well, that would be why. I haven't been in several months. Okay. Well, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Oh my God, isn't anybody in here?
Oh.
We're buddies. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I love you. I'm like, you did too.
But then, yeah, I
Yeah.
went to the game Sunday, and
That's you. Yes.
did you see how crappy that weather was? Like, yeah. I see the line.
Yeah, yeah.
So Scott, that's marked up one that says this is for the TIF district. I think the red stuff here that's not crossed out is actually the crossed out project.
Are you hurt? Are you hurt?
Yeah, I think it's fine either way. Rapid City did it this way.
And Mr. Anthony.
Yeah. He said, just email me, that's simple. He said, your resolution's fine, so you just email me, that's it. Some towns are always good at some.
So do I need to read out this resolution then?
Not that one.
What?
Not for today. But next one.
We want to-
Oh, I didn't get that. No. Help us there.
Yeah.
You want to get that phone call now? Yeah.
They said they're gonna let them. I'm helping.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Bring your money today? My money?
It's hard to follow what in the paper.
Bankruptcy for $2.
Providing, creating, try to make life easy for contractors.
Full charge, so I wanted to have him this truck lift up and take it. Truck having to take off.
Wow. You have an extended one.
Yeah.
You know, all the way down.
I would do it for him.
Would you? Third year, you're turning the water on.
I probably heard a lot.
So I just said left hand, that was what it is.
Like, well, you don't turn on my Friday.
Oh,
Just an in and out deal. Is the.
yeah, yeah.
That thing doesn't.
Well, I called yesterday, they wanted him there at 6 o'clock. And he said, they said 6 o'clock, we said, is that PM? And they said, no, sir, it's AM.
Harry, is her name Grace? Right, right. Right. Even my grandson. When he sends an email, it comes across.
It's administrative. I made a generic email because I got tired of people. So this time I thought I'm just making a generic one.
Yeah.
Like I sent a reply to that, and I didn't get a response back, so I didn't know, like.
She's getting them.
Okay.
Surgery.
Hermosa Rocks. She have one.
When I woke up, I had a hard and had my me, my husband, my daughter's husband. You know, I thought, they said, well, we want to go on the beer with our dinner, so we said, yeah. Where, what hospital was this? Surgeon. Really? Black Hills Surgeon? You didn't get that. That's what Robert changed the rules. Your daughter probably, turns out the worst. I don't know whether that's
Well, they'd be different. Capital H and capital R.
I had an invite.
So anyway. So I think how many? Yeah.
It's just.
Just from the.
Yeah. So if you have to go, yeah. He said, yeah, it's all public.
I was teasing my sister, she's a Broncos fan, she was like, I said, you're just damn lucky they're players. So I said, well, like,
I don't know how to tell where the building was. I couldn't even find the wall.
was over.
Yeah.
I used to see
And I think nine, well, I mean, I didn't know.
So Trina,
Here.
is there ever a time that you could go to any conferences during the week?
Yeah, it's only because I have a new position at work, and the person who has been training me for the last 2 months is taking a holiday. So if she's on vacation, I have to cover.
Okay.
That won't be the case most of the time.
Well,
I'm looking forward to my new job, I tell you.
Good.
And I thought it'd be really difficult to add this to my plate while I was training for them. It's scary every time. So I'm glad I did this. I finally jumped in. I didn't jump in any sooner either, because sitting out there for so long,
Yeah.
I would recommend it to
Anybody. It used to be very good when somebody would be on planning and zoning for a year first and then move up. That was really good training too.
yeah. But I do like how fast we are with permits now.
It is good.
Yeah.
But be careful.
Yeah.
I don't have to hold space.
Like this.
No, I'm good.
So I don't think it would have me.
They're gonna start getting taxed on things and it's so long.
Oh.
Let me know.
Oh, think his daughter or your granddaughter wanna rent it? They don't want to rent it. And then they do, and that's right. Over a year now.
I wanted to put something there, I could, right?
I don't know how, but yes.
Ever. They're not raising my offering.
Yeah. So were you sitting here thinking about Miss Linda?
And I can't believe it's already time for to go to prayer.
Why not?
Lord, what happens to the time? And I should be happy because that just means summer's that much closer. I hate winter, but dang,
I
it
know, like
doesn't
I
seem
said,
like
I
it.
didn't. Oh, she fell asleep.
Yeah.
Upstairs now, there's bedroom now.
They're two downstairs.
Tell me about it. Trying to find something.
Good sized lot.
Read that, let's do that. It's according to the county. The internet said it don't say very much.
No, we just had.
277.
That's that.
It's gonna be close to that, but it's probably a 300. Well, it's in the country, so it could be 600.
Where's the internet?
They went to make that phone call.
Just, better than the last page of the project. Yeah.
This house. But it's very nice.
I grew up in Mount City, she came from area. Okay. We come here. Well, we don't. Yeah, I haven't lived in town a few years, I don't like the town. Yeah, I've been out here 21, I was on the country, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I was tired of it.
They're all.
They're on a phone call. Should be here in a minute. Sorry to make you wait, honey.
No. It says,
Oh, late.
You drive from to the other side of Washington?
no, stuff, Springfield does.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's much.
Yeah, I used to be North Haven. I sold that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you like us so much.
That's right. Like that, this side of Rapid, and then, just come down the hill, and then. These things I can go
Oh, it's a retirement.
Yeah, we moved because my husband wishes that he was
There's all kinds of, this way.
Yeah.
There's always deer in the park.
Did they all sign in?
Really?
Every one of them really good?
I think they.
We're out there on the road, so we just like to camp out.
Interesting.
Oh, my God.
How are you?
Good.
Haven't
My
seen-
purpose was hate and discontent.
Was it?
Yep. Is that good?
Did I smile big enough for you so it changed your mind?
How are you?
I
Good.
never see you anymore. I haven't been to a meeting in forever. Oh, okay. Yeah, why? Making tons of money, right?
What?
When I grew up.
Should I?
Yes.
Why?
You know, with, I had her on the ranch.
That sounds good enough.
Guys.
Maybe.
I think you have brought good things to that board.
How about that? Discontent.
That's
Really good in a bad way.
sometimes it's necessary.
I don't know. It's probably.
Right? I'm sure.
I'll get him talking.
No?
Yeah.
Anybody new running that you don't know yet? Okay.
I don't know. Conditions might be cold here.
Pretty soon? Yeah. Right.
What's that? Exactly. Exactly. Sounds good. Okay.
I know, I.
Oh, boy, right now.
Yeah. Good job.
Look like great.
Yeah, well.
Well, that's fun. I'm hoping that the 60 degrees or whatever they're saying on Sunday night. Yeah.
How was yours?
Okay, that's so cute. One here, Willie is, 6 months from her. Animal care doctor. Yeah. I'm sure she's really gonna be coming home and.
It's gonna be a. Oh, I could say, I remember when we were gonna be this great neurosurgeon doctor.
Well, and then obviously, and.
Right, I know. I remember, we're gonna be like neurosurgeon.
They want to come. Yeah, they're gonna help them. They were, you have everything around. Just their shirts, their face. Yes.
Nothing's happened. Let me know the table. I do not understand the law, so I don't want to write it. I'm still gonna look at me. I don't want to.
Did somebody else do that?
I'm also.
We're gonna go a little bit different route. Maybe we'll go ahead and that's not really cheap.
Turn that.
Small world.
I'm waiting for you, reconvene here.
Okay,
Just
yeah,
manage around and reconvene.
yeah, I just, I'm logged in.
Don't know what kind of return.
So there we go.
So it's like when it's not ready. One is well, some sort of telephone.
Excuse me. Thank you, folks. I apologize. We got out of recess a little bit later than we expected. So now what we'll do is, we'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting as the town board so we can reconvene as the planning commission.
I would make that motion.
I'll second.
Linda makes the motion and Aaron seconds. Do we have any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Right. And that was at 6:11.
6:11, yes, thank you. Okay, so we're now in the public hearing section. So let's see, I guess, do you have a presentation for us, Anthony? We could kick it off with, or are you just here for questions?
Here for questions, I've got printed, I have a map that I have
Okay.
ready to show, but,
Adobe is. Adobe, there we go.
Okay, so there's.
yeah, I mean, that's good.
Is that gonna work for us?
That'll work.
Okay, so I guess what we'll do is we'll start with any board questions, and then we can move on to questions from the audience.
That's not the whole map.
No, it's not, but it's a better description of the 8.6 acre depot lot. On the last page of the project plan, there was kind of an onyx picture in the onyx map. So I wanted a little bit more accurate, portrayal of the end of Tenaya Street stuff. That's all that is. It's to go along with your packet.
Okay. All right, do we have any questions from the board then? On the TIP district?
What's this on, Sean?
This one, yeah, so that is better, that's a better depiction than this.
Yeah, zoomed in a little.
Yeah. One that's accurate acreages.
Okay, seeing none, let's begin let's get questions from the audience then. I assume there's lots of questions because we have lots of new faces here and some repeat faces that we've seen before. Do you have any questions from the audience on the proposed TIP district? Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
So,
This is the first I've heard about anything like this.
okay, so are you asking what is this TIP district about, or what is a TIP district, or?
Well, all of it, because I think I'm here with some of my neighbors and that live in that proposed area. And we don't know what it is or what you're planning.
Okay.
We haven't heard anything.
Okay, yes, thank you. So would you like to just give a brief rundown, Anthony, on?
Sure. So the TIF district, the tax increment financing district, is a way of funding, public infrastructure. In other words, roads, water, sewer. It's a deferment of taxes on the properties that are within the district boundaries. This particular TIF district though is all commercial property, so it's unlikely that anyone lives in it. It's the western area of the town that's all zone commercial. And basically it's surrounds Roy's drive-in. It's just fair land. And then there's a couple businesses that are adjacent. Be it, the existing ones are the gas station, the Dollar General, Lazy R, and Southern Hills RV. Those are the only existing businesses. Everything else is bare land. That's zone commercial. So like Marie Street, for example, is not in the district.
No, no, I know, but we're surrounded by it.
Correct, yeah.
How is that going to? affect
How
the
noisy is
property?
it? How smelly is it? How big is it? How
Right.
are you planning to do this?
Right, so right now, the only thing we have a developer, agreement on is to install sewer from Tenaya Street, which is basically the road going east-west, and then skirting along the highway and tying in at the existing sewer main. That's basically where Marie Street ends, and there's Rock Electric owns that property there. That's all we're doing.
Right now, or
That's all
what
we're
are you
doing.
planning for the future for that, if that just goes through?
So each property owner has the ability to access TIF money, but then each one of those projects would need to be brought to the town to determine if it's, valid and meets the requirements of the TIF. Right now, we only have one developer, which is trying to develop the end of Tenaya Street. And it's basically, it's a building where there's, we're gonna be accepting like truck wash waste and liquids from,
Is that Reese depot?
yeah.
And it's gonna be at the end of United Street?
Yeah, it's basically
How big is that?
So right here,
a 4,000 square foot.
Wow, what's it gonna be doing?
So it just accepts liquids from a tanker that go into the sewer and then goes to our collection system. So there's no processing actually happening on
Is
site.
that what that big picture is in there?
How did you guys move that today?
That's
That's
what it'll look like, yeah.
wow.
So those are tip up tanks and then to the building.
That's pretty close to our residences.
So right there at the end of United Street, isn't that on the hill where that boutique is?
That didn't used to be where it was.
Isn't that like sort of the entrance of where the entrance is? Is that where it is?
Kind of.
So I can clear up a little bit. There's some confusion here. If you look on Google Maps, it shows Tenaya Street turning here and going up into the drive-in tract. But this is all private property and this is a private drive. This is a public access easement. Tenaya is down here. So Tenaya, if you look at Google Maps, it shows Tenaya weaving into the drive-in. That's incorrect. It's just Google Maps being bad at making maps of roads.
Okay.
This is actually Tenaya Street. So
it's kind of in between where you would drive. Oh, I see.
yeah, it
So
comes
you
straight
would
out.
Drive to the theater and right
So the
Is
deep,
Prosecution Breeze?
you put the,
They probably,
show
Depot?
out there
Listen,
with
I'm
the,
confused because we didn't know anything about this
Yeah.
until today.
right,
So I haven't even had a chance to look at any of this or read it.
Right.
Find out what, but we live there.
right, and
That's a residential, we're on Marie Street.
right.
And you're surrounding us with an industrial tip. What's that gonna do to our property values?
yeah. Actually, so I know this is a public hearing. It may be, a little bit different than what y'all are used to, but let's try and keep a question and answer format. And if you,
That's what we're trying to find out.
yes, ma'am, I understand. I'm just trying to make sure that we kind of go through this process orderly. And so if anybody has any questions, just please raise your hand and then we'll address the one question. And if you have another question, you can raise your hand again. And let's just do it that way. Then we can make sure nobody's talking over each other and that we get a good audio for the recording too. So anyways, please continue. Yes, ma'am?
I do have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why weren't we advised of this prior to the meeting?
Well, we have been talking about this in other meetings, and I think the function of the public hearing is to provide the notice that you're talking about. And so,
We haven't had a time to even read this yet.
I think probably what
Yes, ma'am.
she's saying is like for us, we decided to know on it. I just saw if there was some post about here on Facebook.
Mhm.
I guess maybe that would have been nice, it's just like something in the mail, because like we personally, being within the city, but like the street. Just something to think about, but
Right. And so we do have notification guidelines that we did follow, and which is, I believe, to put it in the newspaper of record, which is the Custer Chronicle, at least 10 days ahead of time. And so we did do that. But I do appreciate you saying that. Yes, sir, Mr. James.
I just also want to say that, even though the statute did not require it, I also asked Terry to send out notices to every one of these parcel owners too, even though it's not required. Because I just felt like people would want to, weigh in if they knew. So we did, at least we went beyond the statutory process to notify those folks too.
Okay, thank you, sir. All righty.
So,
If you don't want that, how can you proceed? How can you, is it still already accomplished, or is there still a vote going on, or how? Is this just like, this is just gonna happen no matter what?
well, so if you're not in the district, I know your residential, Reed Street, which the commercial zoned land surrounds you. But ultimately, it's the tax deferment from property owners that are inside the district boundaries, so that they can help hook up to city infrastructure and use the property or create jobs or use it for businesses. So, so that's kind of one part of it. And then the other part is that, we can only create a district that's up to 10% of the taxable value of the entire town. So there's limitations on how big a district can be. And so we're at that limitation. And so whatever the tax increment would be from where it is today to where it would be if the parcel gets subdivided and reappraised, right? Then that increment is all the money that's available to do anything. So it's very limited in terms of the scope, because there's not that much increment in taxes between where it is today and where it would be. And so just so you can see that blue line that you see on the map, that's an existing water line from the city water system. But there is no brown line, which is the sewer. And so that's what this project is trying to do, is to connect to that brown line right there where it crosses the highway.
Let me get my drawing tool running here, because that would help.
And while he's doing that, Linda, did you have a comment or question?
I was just gonna tell you, for individual businesses that come to the town and want to build within that district, we'll have the whole process of building permits and all of that to go through. Those would be the times where it would be really good to have the public input. So if you keep track of the town minutes and come to the meetings in which any of those businesses are trying to come forward to buy land and to put a business in that area, that would be also a very good time for you all to come in.
And you know, this might be kind of a shock to you all, and I apologize, but some of us have lives other than revolves around what the town board is doing. It would be very nice for us, we would appreciate knowing some of this is there, so we could come and listen and not be.
I appreciate that. We all have lives too. And the thing is, our town minutes go out a day or two after our town meetings. Our town meetings are the second, generally speaking, the second and the fourth Tuesday of every month, starting at 6 o'clock, generally going until 9 o'clock. And you can listen to those meetings on the recording on the website, and you can pick up, you can read the minutes also, which is way shorter than listening to the entire meeting. And we all understand that. That is one reason why we still have our meetings in the evening, because most of the general public works during the day and is busy during the day and has nights off. That is why we still choose to have nighttime meetings, so that it is available when you can make it important enough to make it.
Yeah, so I understand that, and I'm not trying to be
I get it,
too
ma'am.
antagonistic about it, but I'm speaking for two of my neighbors who are not here.
I understand.
We all got caught by surprise of being surrounded by an industrial development area, when we're in a commercial, residential. And a lot of us, our biggest asset are our homes.
You turn on the.
And what it's gonna do to our property.
It'll kill it'll delete the.
So I'm gonna turn on the layer so you can see the existing town zoning. So nothing's being modified from that, around Marie Street. So as you can see that red, so Marie Street's that like aqua blue, and that represents residential. And then the red is actually is our commercial zone. So it's already like that.
Yeah, I know, I understand.
Nobody's changing that. The sewer line, there is no sewer there, which has been a problem for the property owners for a long time. So what this proposal does is it allows us to take the taxes from that red property, freeze them, and then put in the sewer, and the 19 years of taxes from now until then that we would normally collect by the property going up in value, we will defer to help pay for that sewer line, to help the property.
Is that sewer line just going to this grease treatment plant?
It goes there, but it passes probably half a dozen other properties and helps them. So, there's 27 acres in total on that parcel. The depot is only 8.6 acres of it. The remaining, parcels are to be sold as commercial property as well. Also you have a couple other property owners such as Roy and Travis Baker that own property there, and one of them's for sale. Well, actually both were for sale at one point. And so they're tiny, the ability for them to sell the property, develop it, use it, get their business running is tiny by no speed. So the depot just gave kind of an impetus to, hey, let's do this because the money that is used to put the sewer in is actually the liability of that development. So he'll have to go to the bank. We'll set it up as a grant, the tax increment, and then he'll still be on the hook for anything over the grant amount.
Can you still ask about what that grease plant or whatever it is gonna do?
Sure.
Oh, is it gonna smell? I mean, is it gonna be belching out stuff? I mean, like I said, we were just caught by surprise and we're kind of curious about what's
So,
gonna happen in our backyard.
sure. And,
So,
should I continue or?
well, if you don't mind, ma'am, let's let some other people, have their turn, and then we can come back to you in a little bit. I see you there, Aaron. And so, and Mr. James also reminded me that this is not just a question and answer period. This is also a period in which you can express your views kind of on an open-ended way too. I just ask that we continue with the raising of the hand and we just have one person speaking at a time. So anyways, so we'll come back to you, ma'am, if you have some more comments or questions later. So let's go to Aaron next, and then we'll go to this lady back here.
So, as of, well, a year and a half ago when I joined the board, I've never heard what a TIF was. It was this ridiculous new thing. And the only way I could understand it was to visualize it. So I'm a visual person. It's just who I am. So this is how I understand it. Hopefully it'll make sense to other people. So and the only way I can think is to draw it. So please bear with me. I'm not an engineer. I'm just the guy who's trying to understand how this stuff works. So you have property that over time will gradually go up in value, right? But undeveloped property doesn't go up in value very fast. Let's say you put a bunch of sewer line in and it raises the value of the property, causing the taxes to go up over time at a little bit faster rate, right? And let's say you put this grease treatment plant and then the taxes go up even faster because there's more taxes when you have like commercial buildings and stuff. Well, what a TIF would do is essentially, let's say we start the TIF here. That sets a line as a base for the TIF. So all that increment, that increase in property tax value, instead of that being distributed out to all the different entities, it gets collected in a separate account and stored. And that value is used to then pay back loans that were used to purchase the infrastructure that was put in that sewer line. So it's like set up the TIF, developer borrows against this projected fund essentially, puts in the line with that money, and then the TIF pays it back over time. So it's kind of like getting the benefit of the taxes that that development will eventually create. And the downside, there's always a downside. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't grow the way it does, and you've committed all that money, essentially buried it in the ground, it's still there, and the town still has to account for it.
Except,
Up to the limit of what the town agrees to, what, $850,000?
except this is a commercial tip, so the developer is on the line for that difference if it's there, not us. On this particular,
In the tip,
yeah,
between what we collect and what we agree to guarantee.
and anything he goes over, yeah.
What we can collect and what we can get them are the same.
Because, well, we were agreeing at least by that MOU is to guarantee up to $850,000.
Up to, but it's whatever that tip produces.
And there's several drafts here. I haven't read the latest one, but that language is very clear in here that is an absolute hard limit.
Yeah, that's in the project.
So we'll never have to pay a penny of taxes to the developer unless they were collected as a result of the increment of this property.
That's right.
So the surrounding neighbors, aside from the fact that property taxes do go up over time, their taxes will never be impacted by this.
No,
The houses, their taxes aren't gonna go up because of what we're doing.
their taxes go up normal.
Right, exactly, but not more than usual, so this
Yeah.
won't impact their taxes, because I think that's one of the biggest concerns people have.
So.
Okay, let's take a minute there and let's hear from the audience. So I know this lady who's been waiting for a while to speak, and Mr. Mark here would like to speak too, so please.
Oh, yeah, I just kind of wanted to have a little bit better understanding of kind of exactly what was happening. So you guys are proposing that truck kind of station on Flyover Street, Street was. I don't know if I heard this, but did somebody say something about like rezoning so that commercial lot could potentially be rezoned in a few different ways?
So, and just, you know, I'm the town engineer, I'm not the developer, so. I don't represent the developer. But, so the developer proposes to have a depot. So a depot is a hub and spoke model. They have processing facilities in Lawrence County. And so all that type of activity, and the reason is because we don't have natural gas in Hermosa. If we did, then potentially that property could be used for more than just waste water, right? But we have a upgraded lagoon system, and we actually have additional costs, right, in everybody's bill associated with that new lagoon facility and wastewater treatment plant. So what the town is trying to do as an initiative is try to have commercial payers offset the cost of the residents so that they're paying a larger share towards the sewer bill. And that helps to maintain costs across the board for wastewater by having some of that responsibility shared by commercial users. We don't have enough of it in Hermosa. So this one is kind of a very specific one where wastewater is needed. They want to tap to our sewer system. They've got an operation going on. There's truck waste and grease processing waste, which is all water. Grease traps are 96% water. And so, but the brown grease and that type of stuff is all up at their facility in Apple Springs. And that's where the furnaces and boilers and that type of stuff are because of the natural gas. I don't know when we'll ever have natural gas in Hermosa. So that's the situation, and it would be zoned, if we do a rezoning of industrial, it would be a spot zoning. So whatever they write in their developer's agreement that they're gonna do, we would only zone it on the condition of that. So if they said, oh, no, we wanna do some other strange thing, they'd have to come back and reapply.
Oh, okay. I guess the only thing that I was worried about when I heard rezoning was like, there's gonna be multiple different buildings of commercial lots right up against the houses there.
No,
Okay.
and what you're talking about with the rezoning is only one particular parcel, which is back here by the cemetery.
Gotcha.
So the total opposite side.
Okay, yeah, I was just making
The rest is
sure.
staying the same.
I didn't know, like, in my head, I was like, he said rezoning, so to me, that's a bunch of different commercial lots right up against the house, so that raised the red flag, but
Yeah.
that clarifies itself.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
Okay, thank you for that. Mark, did you have a comment or question, or would you just like to express a view even?
Oh, it's a question, I
Okay.
guess.
Absolutely.
So being a commercial TIF, you said the developer guarantees all payment and is responsible, even if they go bankrupt or whatever, the town will have no liability?
That's right.
Ever, no way.
It's their loan.
Even if it's underwater and nobody else does anything there?
Underwater? You mean flooded?
If the tax values never appreciate enough to cover the amount, I mean, there's no liability on us, no way, shape, or form.
That's right. And that's how it's written in the project plan, that it's a grant. And so the grant only produces what the tax increment derives. The big thing is the 27-acre parcel. It's taxed really low right now, really low. And so as soon as it's subdivided, there's going to be an increment. Everyone else is already, like, for example, the Wiley's, it's the antique store. That's actually excluded from the district because what we're going to do here won't really change that tax increment very much. And it was pushing us over 10% of our taxable value. So that's actually the only commercial property in that big red zone that's not included in the district because it didn't benefit from it. It's already on septic and water. Wouldn't really benefit from the sewer line. But everything else is either bare land or properties that have been impeded by not having sewer.
Okay, Dan?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about the TIFs, and their involvement has always been the developers on the hook. You know, if there's a project plan and says it's $850,000, doesn't mean we're gonna go to 850,000, it should be 500 before the person's satisfied on that. But the developer has to go get all the loan, pay all the infrastructure, put everything in, bring the receipts in to the town. If there's enough money in the increment of that account that the town is responsible for, then he can get reimbursement. The town also gets reimbursed for their administration fees, their engineer fees through that account also. So everything is listed all in that whole circumstance. So if anything were to happen, exactly as what Anthony said, there is never a liability to the town, and that's the beauty of the TIF for the town is there is no liability when you get into the circumstances. But they get the infrastructure and they only gain and go up from that infrastructure. And then they warranty, just like they would any development, and then take it over when their circumstances are there. So it's a win-win always for the town. It brings more development. And it's in a good circumstance where those that are blighted are going to also be able to get infrastructure that maybe couldn't afford it. And the way it's designed right now with the movie theater and with where Maria Street is and where Warren Street is, there is another row of houses that it could be built on Marie Street up against the movie theater. And that is also a buffer for anything to ever be developed on that situation. So that's a win-win on that. And then if any development happens further to the west, this only helps for that with its infrastructure already being provided in that situation. So it's really a win.
All righty, thank you for your comments. Do we have any other comments? Questions, just an expression of views? Aaron, did you have something?
Oh, yeah, mentioning the 2 rows of houses, there was one thing that I talked about at that 7th meeting that there was a little bit of information, misinformation, I think, about it. I had looked into really and talked to Roy about what was actually asked of him.
If this isn't specifically about the TIF district, then let's.
Well, I just want to make sure we're getting clear, valid information.
We're really just
Yeah,
trying to focus on the TIF district here.
Yeah, so it was mentioned about Roy's and the sewer need, and that's kind of been a common talking point. And as you see, this is all the TIF district, but this is essentially the land it would take for another row of houses to be built there. And so these highlight sections you see here, they're called viewing cones. That's the parking area where you would want people parking if you were at a drive-in. So essentially what was expected is that he would sell 100 feet of his property on this side to allow more houses, essentially putting houses in between the screens. So I just wanted to make sure that there was clarity on that.
All right, let's just limit further conversation on the creation of the TIF district, because that's what this public hearing is about, and not necessarily some of the historical things that may or may not have happened. So, do we have any other comments, questions, expression of views, Linda?
I just, I would like to tell you my opinion. I have been on the board off and on for years now, 20 years, I guess it is. And when we had our first TIF district, I was so against it. I mean, nobody in this room was more against it than I was for a very long time. And what I have come to find out is that it's very difficult to get any building, any infrastructure built at the prices they are now. And just to give you a little display of the cost of things, 10 years ago about, the town wanted to put some sidewalk in. And we got a quote on the deal, and it was whatever it was, 12, I'm just gonna say, don't quote me on this, but we'll say it was $12,000 to get it done. By the time we got the project okayed, bid out, and was ready to start the project again, the cost of that project had went up to $400,000. Now, there's no way the town could come up with that kind of money for a sidewalk when we thought it was gonna be 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever it was. So nowadays, it really truly does take a TIF district to get infrastructure taken care of, because the costs have just skyrocketed. Already our water bills in our area are high enough, and so to get anything done, our only form of getting money is taxes and the little bit that we make on our water bills. And so if we want growth, if we want to expand, if we want a park, if we want a subway, it just doesn't matter. In order to get these things available to the citizens, the community, we about have to do a TIF district to make that happen. So, and like I said, I was the worst about it, and I am now for them, because I understand, by being on the board, I understand what the costs are and what happens. So, thank you for letting me speak.
All right, yes, ma'am.
I understand about the TIF and the fact that this has already been, the commercial, what you were talking about is already set. But being a homeowner that is in that area, and I hope I'm speaking for my other neighbors and the ones that aren't here. What happens to us? Our homes are a pretty big investment for us. Are we gonna be impacted in a negative way or not? I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to find out. I understand what you're talking about. So I'm not necessarily opposed to the growth or anything, but just how is it going to affect us as homeowners?
Residential.
I know you got us kind of carved out of that, but is it gonna have an impact, a negative impact, a positive impact, or?
There should only be positive impacts, unless you were wanting to just move to a country town that was never going to grow. But it will not affect your sewer, your water, or your taxes in any way. This district will not affect those things. Other factors may affect it, but not this district. The hope is to get businesses in here, that will provide services for you. We would love to see a hardware store of sorts, a fast food place, possibly, I know they're working very hard on getting another daycare. I mean, there are any number of businesses that are not what I would call industrial, that would give the pollution, the noise that you are talking about.
Well, that was one of my concerns with this.
Right.
I don't understand, and I do understand what you're saying, and I'm not trying to be.
No, I get it,
I'm
hon.
trying to learn more about, because I don't understand quite what this plant is gonna do, and it's right close to on the street.
So the plant itself, Anthony can tell you, but it is, everything they do is totally within the building. So the only noise, so to speak, that you really will get out of it is the truck coming in and out. And you get highway noise, you get the trucks coming in and out for, Dollar General. And that will be a block off of your, further away than the Dollar General is from you, where this plant is actually gonna go. So, Anthony, sorry.
Yes, so as it pertains to Marie Street in that neighborhood, and relative to the depot, so Roy's Drive-In is between you.
Yeah, no, I understand where it's going.
And so the developer presents their plan, and I've worked with the developer to come up with this plan, knowing that we don't want odors, we don't want noise, and we need certain essential businesses, car wash, hopefully we get like a pharmacy or something that you don't have to drive 20 minutes to Rapid and back, 20 minutes for something very essential, right? So that's what this commercial property is for in the town. There's not much commercial property. So, so by opening up putting water, sewer and road infrastructure in, which is the responsibility of the town, then the developer, the landowners themselves have to come up with those businesses that will come in there. And so, the plan with that, grease processing, business is they're gonna open up the business in Boulder Canyon that's surrounded by the Boulder Canyon Golf Course. If they can make it there, they can make it anywhere. There's a tee box right next to the building where they're proposing to do the ground grease processing. And then they have a really big odor control process that's inside the building, to control that, because, and I told them, I said, I don't know if we'll ever have natural gas here or the right energy resources to make them want to come here. But if we did, they would have already passed the mustard in terms of noise and odor up there. So let them be, I guess, the guinea pig for that.
Is this an accurate picture of what that's gonna look like?
Yeah, so those green tanks are just holding tanks. So they're tip-up tanks that United Rental sells. They come from the black and oil fields and they're heated. And all it does is the liquids from the little septic and the different car washes and truck washes in the area come and unload into those tanks. Those tanks then keep the water heated, and another tanker comes, picks that water up and takes it to Boulder Canyon where it's processed, and then the wastewater from that brought back here because we have the facility to dispose of. That's it.
Okay, I saw some hands up, so we have Aaron, and then Travis, and then Mark, and then you, sir, back there.
Yeah, so they've mentioned about different businesses, looking at all these additional, looks like what would be the storefronts here, and a fresh road right of way. There's currently a public access right here. Looks like this would become the right of way for 3 commercial buildings here, like they were saying, drugstore, so on and so forth. This looks to be more, I guess you could say entertainment type, leisure type commercial properties is what I would see, restaurants and things. What I'm curious about is what sort of expectation would be for commercial use up here at the end of Marie Street.
To the left,
Top.
right there? Okay.
Yeah.
So those lots we laid out in there, and that's just something I worked out with the property owner, just to say, what were you thinking? The property, John Preston is a part of that with the Negabar family. And of course, he's at a point in his life where he's not planning on doing any of this stuff himself. But we wanted to know kind of what's the potential, at least in the near future, of parcels and who is going to benefit, right? Why should we even do this? And so there's still a ton of land on that north side and on the side there where Walter Street dead ends that we don't have any plan for. It's just bare land right now. All the stuff on the south side of Marie. So basically, the parcel parcels that you see kind of envisioned at the end of Marie Street would be given back to the residential so that additional houses could be built to go in line with that neighborhood. So that neighborhood keeps its character and no commercial, because right now it's zone commercial at the end of the road. So what we'd like to do is to keep that residential and to keep that kind of on its own with a couple extra lots, 5 lots at the end of Marie Street and then a turnaround. So that really it just looks the same and it's extended out another 5 houses. It's residential.
And Marie Street.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. We're trying to keep an order here, so, if you like, we can call on you after this gentleman here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, thank you. But we're just trying to keep a nice flow here, so, were you done with your comment, Aaron, your question?
And just to add, sorry, there is nobody bringing that to the town right now, that idea. So right now, all that's bare land with no plan. We just figured that if we call those preliminary site plans. If we saw a preliminary site plan from the property owner of what he wants to do with the entire property, it'd help us to understand how we should proceed and discuss. And so I shared this with John Preston. He said, yeah, that's what we were thinking to do, but I'll never do it because I'm 70-something years old. And so that's where we're at. It's not even something we would need to approve or not approve. So.
Okay,
Yeah, I was still just, I had a couple more things I wanted to touch base on. So 2 things that I think are definitely TIF related. So the proposal we've got, it talks a lot about the sewer line, but nothing regarding the actual plans around the road that Tenaya Street would be. But I really want to make sure that rule of if the TIF doesn't generate it, the developer doesn't get paid, will apply to all aspects, including if they need to put in a road here, whether it be gravel, whether it be asphalt, whether it be concrete, right? I mean, what are we looking at for a road there with 70,000 pound trucks, you figure? 80,000 pound trucks, 80,000 pound trucks, 10 trucks a day. What are we looking at for a road there, development wise, as far as making sure, we've got the sewer line dialed in fairly well, but what do we got for the street, just to make sure that we have all the planning done before we, that the cart isn't before the horse.
We don't have any engineering done. There's no budget, right? So right now, this establishes that financing mechanism so that engineering could be done. That'd be the next step. There's preliminary cost estimates in there, but there's no design. We would need to make Tenaya Street a serviceable road for the easels that you would have there for truckloads.
And that is up to the entire board to vote that.
okay, Travis?
2 questions. One, when was this zone commercial? Do you guys remember that by chance? How many years ago this was zone commercial?
2012.
Well, okay, is that when you come in, Roy?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So all of that was zone commercial at that time, and at that time, it's terrible of me not to remember this. Were the houses already started there, Roy?
No.
No, the houses
The
come
house
later.
started on that first road.
On the far north side.
When I bought the property, that was this last one over here that isn't filled in, was supposed to be all commercial.
Right, okay.
But
So,
somebody changed.
right, so that's why I was just wondering what come first in this process. And obviously, if it's already been zoned commercial and you're just encompassing that with the TIF, it really doesn't affect anything other than when they bought whatever they bought at that point in time. And 2, on that, are we light, heavy, medium, industrial? What have you guys kind of put on this? Or is it just a general layer of commercial?
So everything is general commercial right now.
Yep.
The 8.6 acres where the depot is going.
Yep.
In his developer's agreement, he will request spot zoning to light industrial.
Yep.
So that he could put, because that water and wastewater, then it doesn't fall under that intended use. So, but he would need, if he does any change from his developer's agreement, he would need to come back because that spot zone, blankets on.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, what the stipulations on some of that might be in the near future with whatever might happen on that aspect.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
and then my last question would be, how much of that where he's getting ready to come in would be in any part of a wetland that might come about or not?
So that's a good question. And the map behind you gives you a good clue of where the wetlands and floodplain is. So, the floodplain, you can kind of see that floodplain area.
Yep.
And we go to permit maps, which I don't have up, you'll see that. So this was a lake at one time, and this was a dam, stock dam. And then this was the discharge from that. And it just drains a bigger area here. It's not really a part of anything to the west. Because the old dairy and Billover are to the north of us, to the north of.
Right. Oh, I mean,
So that's why you see a lot of proposed stuff to the east and to the south. That's deliberate to stay out of that area where we would need to work with.
been here a long time. I can remember when it used to be wet. So, I mean, that's why I just wonder if somewhere on a true map after some of that was dissolved, if we're infringing on any of that being taken away, that whoever is developing and taking away, we've got to create wetlands or something somewhere else as we engineer things up. To be on the hook for is we take away 2 acres, add 2 acres somewhere else.
Right.
If anybody's gonna be on that hook.
Yeah, and it would be probably at
Right, but I mean,
somewhere else, but yeah.
There's things to think about as a guy keeps adding in and taking out. You know, I mean, there used to never be cattails next to Walmart on the south side of Rapid. Now you got a great big draw. But, you know, but when I was a kid, it was just as nice as could be, but they've consolidated all the water now to that spot. So just making sure. Okay.
Interesting. Mark?
It's 27 acres, did you say?
The piece surrounding, the drive-through that belongs to Negabar is 27 acres,
Oh, so it's 27, not including the drive-in?
not including.
Drive-in 16.3, is it?
16.6.
16.6. Yeah. Well, I had one other note on here. So this sewer line that's being proposed, and here's something that's kind of been, a hot topic for a while. So Roy's right now, there's no line, as it stands right now, within 200 feet of the property boundary of Roy's Drive-In, which is why the town could never actually compel a connection. It was tried, but couldn't have been tried because, so this line though, however, will bring sewer within 200 feet. So this is where it might impact Roy in that he has a septic. He doesn't really need this line right now. But if this line runs in, then the town could be granted with the ability to compel. As with this property here, I believe, I think they're also on septic, right? So, you know, that's one potential downside, right? I mean, if this line gets run, it's all of a sudden gonna be, all right, well now everybody in here who has a septic, even though it's functional, you've got to connect
Well,
the town sewer.
that would be obnoxious for no reason.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly. So I don't
We have
know.
other examples like that
Yeah.
in town, not just here. And so like on Fairgrounds Place, we have some houses that are on septic and our main trunk sewer going to the lagoons passes right in front of it. As long as they're not doing anything else, then what is at peace stays at peace. That's the
Right.
law.
And that's my understanding is DANR's policy pretty explicitly is if it's working, leave it alone.
Okay, Mark, did you have any follow-up?
Yeah, just real quick, the area north of, or where Marie Street is, them houses. There, I saw you had some kind of commercial structure, kind of just thrown there.
No, that was additional lots of residential and continuing Marie Street.
To the west.
No, yeah, I'm talking, it would be,
South.
so the south, excuse me, in between the theater and Marie Street.
It's nothing fun.
Nothing?
Nothing at all.
Because there really
That's
isn't
where
enough
we get
room,
into
is there?
Travis's, question. Yeah, there's questions there on floodplain and wetlands that need to be resolved eventually, but that's why that area is sort of to be determined in the future.
Okay, yes, sir, you in the back?
So is anything with the grease facility official or anything, or have they done like building permits or? So when that does come into play, does the general public have any say on that? That's when you would want to be at these meetings.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys know that or not, but at the end of Tenaya Street, that's where my water line hooked up. Yeah, that water line's already there. We're not proposing any changes. Well, I just wanted, because the electric company didn't pay no attention, they ripped it out. Oh, yeah. We won't do that. We'll locate her. We'll do the proper location. Winter.
All right, Dan, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, there is a rule of houses that can go in on the backside of Marie. The problem was, and Roy was very familiar with it, they wanted to buy some additional property, but that never.
Yeah. Can we just keep this related to the district creation, please? I know there's a lot of history that the town has, and I know that you know a lot of it too. But if you don't mind, let's just keep that discussion to the TIF district creation. That's really what we're considering tonight is the consideration of passing a resolution that would create the TIF district. And all that does is create the vehicle by which some of the things that he talked about tonight would then ride that vehicle via project plan to get these plans done. And every step of the way, we're going to have the ability for people to comment, and it will be, I don't believe the project plan has a explicit public hearing, but I know it's going to be on our agenda for the next meeting, which is coming up this upcoming Monday. So if you'd like to comment on that, please be here for that too. So just a heads up for you. I see three hands at once, so let's go with this lady back here, and we'll go with Travis, and then you in the back, ma'am.
Okay, I just have a few questions. Are you Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw your page or your post on the Hermosa page about Roy's Drive-In.
Mm-hmm.
So my question was, what did you mean by like if you care about Roy's being around or being open or whatever? What did you mean by that? Because we love Roy's.
Yeah. So Roy's is the centerpiece of this. I mean, reading through this. There are parts where moments of it almost feel like a love letter to Roy's, but there's no actual mention of anything to do to support or assist with the reopening of Roy's and like one example I have. So pretty much everything here has been tortured by prairie dogs for decades, as I understand. Like the property, they ruin everything that, gets put in there. Isn't that the kind of thing a TIF could help alleviate if it's going to impact that much of the land? I mean, is that something that could be, they say blight, right? Anything that interferes with development, prairie dog mitigation of this basically this whole district is overrun with prairie dogs.
That would be something for Neil. Are you still there, Neil? Is that, so there's.
Welcome back. For a little bit. I'll try to answer some of the questions that have been, if that's okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Neil, can we address the prairie dog question first and then get
Well, I guess.
In the broader question, Neil, of eligible expenses versus ineligible expenses, okay, like that.
Thank you.
Right. Initially, it's not something that I've ever been aware of how to mitigate it, but it is something. It's for the preparation of the property for development. I would suspect that that's probably might be an eligible one. But we need to commit to that. Just the thing to keep in mind is in this district, there's a number in there, it's 766,000 number. That's the estimated increment that the city will generate based off of the property taxes. So that's the kind of the number that you need to be focused on is that amount. And that's not for sewer and any other expenses that come up. So that's the number. That's kind of the magic number. And that's based off of those. So we come up with the increment number. So to answer your question is probably once we get the engineering down with the road, water, sewer, then we can kind of see what's left in there.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Did you have
A
a
little,
follow-up?
a little more on that. And as far as, just to be clear, so there's the separation between, we have two documents really here as far as the coming down the road resolutions is how, so nothing's done yet. This is what will need to be done before it's official, but there's a separation between the creation of the district versus this approval of the initial plan. So now, as far as something like that, like, all right, groundhog control, whatever, prairie dog control, or other aspects would be additional projects on top of this one, but still within the TIF boundary, but then that would be a separate increment. At what point would that be a separate increment?
The thing to keep in mind about TIF district is the TIF districts, the developer has to spend all his money within the first 5 years of the TIF district. So the statute's set up where you kind of have looks at it within 5 years. So he has to spend all his money within the first 5 years. And then that's actually within the first 5 years, the TIF district can be amended. So that what can happen is the reason for that 5-year window is these estimations of the architects are just that they're estimations. Nobody really knows. I mean, it's based off of history, showing the property tax increments or increases. But we don't know that for sure. We're speculating. And that's why when you have a developer's agreement, the developer will have to pick up the tab, so to speak, of any shortfall within any increment that comes in. So that, and I've done that. We've done that before, Mitchell, for example, when we had one that may not have generated what we initially thought. So what happened is they backed off some of the expenses and didn't develop as much as they wanted to. But you do that within the first 5 years. So that's one thing to kind of keep in the back of your mind is if all of a sudden it doesn't develop as fast as you think, and you don't need as much infrastructure, you amend the product, you amend the STIP district within 5 years.
Okay, thank you for
So
that.
that was helpful.
Just so everybody know, Neil Putnam is our town planner, so he just lives in Mitchell, so he's on.
Yeah, and did you have any other input or questions that were asked earlier, Neil? Did you mention you had some answers for those too, or?
Yeah, I guess one of the things that I did wanted to make sure that I did consult with the Custer County Direct Organization on the increment. He anticipated, obviously, giving an opinion of value that is more, as long as there's more infrastructure within there, obviously would have an impact on the valuation of some of those big lots is there, as well as the incremental increases of the commercial buildings that we're including in here. So I just wanted to let you know that we did consult with Custer County Director of Equalization with that. And the thing is too, that this is a grant process, so the city will be serving as a conduit through here. So that's kind of one of the nice things about doing a discretionary grant is there's a whole lot less bookkeeping for the town to keep track of. So, and you probably see some of the language in there talking about the flow through and so forth. So.
And it's also done to prevent our bonding capacity from being affected, so it doesn't affect other things that the town needs to do.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Neil. Let's move on to, I believe Travis was next, is that right?
So is there a cap on this tip? And was that 766 he talked about, or was that 800 that was in there? What's our cap on this, 766?
Yeah.
Okay, if that's reached before year 20, we're cashing out, correct? Or do we go ahead and hold it till year 20?
Now, what will happen is if it starts collecting substantially higher than we estimated, it'll just pay off the TIF district that much quicker. So it's just like prepaying your mortgage. If you pay your mortgage more, pay an extra payment of your mortgage, your 30-year loan might come to 28-year loan or 29-year loan, something of that nature. So yeah, if it brings in more than we're anticipating, it just pays it off that much quicker, which is what you really hope happens. That's why we're very conservative on our estimations and also very generous on our cost estimations. So what you're thinking is if the cost comes in substantially higher, then you have to back off of the cost, But and the increment is just an estimation based off of history.
Okay, thank you. Did that,
I mean, it does. The only reason I asked that question is there were some questions on the last one that went through. So sounds like maybe we're a little more educated and online with this one. I just want to make sure that if there was a gap in the way things work.
okay, thank you for that.
Fair enough.
Absolutely, sir. I mean, that's what we're here for, is to let everybody kind of ask questions, and then even if they have views that they just want to let us know about, then they can let us know that too. Let's go with that lady in the back, and then we'll go to Aaron.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said about Monday night, just that's another meeting.
Well, we do have another meeting Monday night, and provided that if we vote on the resolution tonight and it passes, then we will be considering a project plan on Monday.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Aaron.
I lost my train of thought. About the previous TIF, I think maybe the question I would have, because it was kind of an interesting situation when the last one came to its end of life. Is there language in here that automates the terminate? Like once it's paid off, you will now dismantle it, dismiss it. Nothing automatic.
But I mean, you have the ability to do that if you're following the statute.
Yeah, because the last one, it was kind of at the end, it was kind of like, can we spend this money somewhere else? Can't we? And it kind of caused more headache than it needed to. Should we include an automatic?
Neil, you wanna?
Typically, that's addressed in the developer's agreement, because that's, like I said, that's what the developer's agreement will, in other documents that you'll vote on after the TIF is done. And what that developer's agreement does is it puts in more of the details of what the developer's responsibilities are. For example, it does address, and then typically it does address that if all of a sudden it is getting more positive increments than anticipated, that he or she has to put that forward to the project plan, towards the project. So that, so it's just kind of, that's another document that you'll be voting on later at a subsequent meeting.
Okay, thank you for that, Neil. Do we have any other comments or questions? Anybody else like to speak, Aaron?
So there's nothing on the agenda specifically stating about these resolutions. We can't really vote on these tonight, right?
Mr. James, would you like to address that?
So again, bear in mind that you're presently sitting as the planning commission and not as the board. And so there's a statutory process for you to do resolutions as a board. As a planning commission, in fact, a resolution is not even required. You can simply have an oral vote or whatever that you would like in the minutes. Some towns do it that way. I took my example from what I saw in Rapid City, and they had their planning commission do a resolution. But there's nothing preventing you from adopting as a planning commission tonight. You don't have to publish it, in paper like you do a board resolution.
Does everybody understand that?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, so if you go to any other, especially bigger towns like Rapid City, there'll be two, and they used to have planning commission. So it'll be a whole different group of people, some are the same, some are different, that are the planning commission, different entity. Years ago, when I first, 3 years ago, when I got hired, that board decided, and not anything to do with me, but that board decided that they wanted to do away with that and have work sessions and other things in place, and that the board would act as the planning commission in these instances. So currently, you're looking at the planning commission of the town, not the board. And the planning commission just gives recommendations to the board, and that's what will happen Monday night, is if they decide to recommend the board to approve it, and when they sit as the board on Monday, they would decide to approve it or not, based on that recommendation.
So 2 votes, 1 tonight, again Monday, on the same exact item.
No, it would be tonight is the resolution to create the TIF district, and Monday, if this one goes through, would be to adopt project plan.
So the planning commission is supposed to set it's agreed what the boundaries should be, and that there's a need for one. That's what the planning commission is supposed to decide. So if you believe there's a need for the district, the boundaries make sense, then that's your vote today. The rest of the plan is a little more detailed, that would be one.
Okay.
Glad you asked, because I forgot that we were sitting here as somebody.
We transformed, yeah.
Yeah, we did. And if you recall, we did adjourn as the board and we reconvened as a planning commission at the beginning of the public hearing period. So, do we have any other questions or comments? Dan?
I think, what Aaron stated, if you want to make it more clear to the public, it would probably been nicer on the agenda to have it listed as the planning is where the public hearing was going to be discussed, then reassigned it, where you had your resolution that you were gonna put, because a lot of people didn't know you were gonna vote on the resolution tonight. It was just a quick state public hearing. And then went where the town board will be the next ones to consider that as what it would have been on the planning and zoning. And even the city of Rapid City does it that way, where they have two separate agendas, and the planning and zoning P and Z does their agenda and then operates from there. So
Okay. All right.
kind of confusing for all the public, and then they almost think, oh, we're kind of doing some shady stuff by shoving this through.
Well, no shady things going on here, but I think it's also, I could see what you're saying about the planning commission being a separate agenda, and that would be more clear, I think. So I think in the future that could be something that we adopt.
You could put it in here in the future, a special meeting of the planning commission.
Yeah, we could do that too, or add it into the agenda as well, and just explicitly state that for the public hearing that board is meeting as the planning commission. Ma'am, did you have a?
Yeah, my name is Tracy Heitch, been in the area for about 30 years, live rural town, but this town raised my children, my adult children. And I just want to commend you for really forward thinking, and the idea of growth. My youngest daughter is finishing up a doctoral program in Texas and really wants to come home. Her goal has always been to come home and take care of the people that raised her. So, and I know it's hard. Change is super hard. But yeah, I mean, this community had a huge impact on my kids. They grew up at Fairgrounds, grew up in Custer County 4-H. So just commend you on the thinking, because it's not easy to grow. I'm from a tiny town in northern South Dakota, but you do have people that you've impacted that want to come back and help the community. So thank you for your forward thinking.
All right, well, thank you for that sentiment. Aaron, did you have a?
Yeah, it does seem like, and I don't know how, I haven't heard much from other board members, but I kind of feel like, unless there's something absolutely necessary, why we would need to vote on the commission aspect of it, it feels like it might be a little more prudent to have a commission meeting scheduled at the beginning Monday, pass that one, and then move into the other one during the regular meeting. Because a lot of people are probably still feeling like they just got this. I'm just curious.
Yeah, Mr. James, would you like to address that?
I was gonna say, there's certainly nothing prohibiting you from doing that, but you gotta keep in mind, you have to, if you're gonna be voting on this issue, you'd sort of be redoing the public hearing, which is fine. Nothing said you can't do that. You will have to resend out those notices and republish them. So,
10 more days.
yeah, so I don't think you can do it as quickly as you're saying Monday, if you're wanting to reconvene as the planning commission again to recommend. Because this meeting.
So the recommendation has to occur during.
The same hearing that you're taking the input from the public. So it can be today or it can be a different day, but if it's a different day, you just have to do those notices again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that clarification, Mr. James. Do we have any other questions or comments? Okay, I don't see any, so I guess what we can do is I can go ahead and make the motion to adopt the resolution, and we'll see if we get a second from the remainder of the planning commission.
I think one note on this resolution, I think we should probably amend the title to number it as a planning county, resolution rather than a board resolution. So I'm assuming you haven't had any other ones this year, so I'm sure it'd be number one.
Yeah.
But should it be planning commission, resolution or recommendation one? And again, because it's not a resolution of the board.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Well, I'd like to finish me,
Oh.
if you don't mind, but I appreciate the confidence in that. So, excuse me for a second here. I got some notes. Okay, so for this motion, I would like to propose that the board adopt the planning commission resolution number 2026-01, which will establish the boundaries of the proposed TIF district. And I believe that is the entire motion.
Okay, I understand.
And I'll second that motion.
Second that. Thank you, Linda.
Mhm.
So we have a motion on the floor. Made and seconded. Do we have any further discussion on the adoption of the resolution? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. So the planning commission did adopt the resolution. So with that, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn as the planning commission,
I'll make that motion.
reconvene as the board. Okay. Makes the motion to adjourn. Donna seconds. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you very much. And yes, sir.
Recommend court recess.
Okay, all we have remaining is items from constituents.
Is that it?
Are you okay with that?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so now we magically transformed into the board again. So thank you for witnessing that transformation. Now we're on to items from constituents. Now we're on to items from constituents. So at this time, anybody is welcome to make a comment, or if they have a quick question for the board, please do so now. Otherwise, we'll move on. Okay, I think we got all our questions answered earlier, so I think that's great. So right now, let's go to trustee input. Linda, did you have input?
I would like to just say to the citizens that, trust me when I tell you that we don't want any noise or stinky places either. We're looking for more retail and maybe a cabinet building shop, or just something to help with the growth and providing to the citizens. So I think that this board, I can't see anybody voting for cattle prod, play, whatever stinks and makes noise. We're not into that either. And we would appreciate you coming to the meetings and letting us know when those building permits and things come up in front of us. We would love to have your participation.
Okay, thank you for that, Linda. Would anyone else like to make some trustee input? Aaron?
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming. This is there's gonna be a lot more to this. A lot of things are coming out of this, and I think, maybe Riley's really good at kind of things. Maybe we can put together some kind of this is what's going on with the TIF webpage, to where we can keep people updated on anything and everything coming forward as soon as we get the information, so that we don't have people feel like they're having hit them out of nowhere. Other than that, Roy joined us tonight, so for those who don't recognize him, made his way up from Hopkins. Good to have him here. Now good.
All righty, thanks, Aaron. Any trustee input from this side of the table? Trina?
No, I was gonna say exactly what Linda said, is that we really want to make a town beautiful, and we know that your neighborhood is small, and we're gonna do our best to make sure it stays wonderful, and we don't encroach on your property or even close to. We'll do what we can for you, but we do need you to come and participate sometimes when things like this come up. So it's great to see you.
Okay, thanks, Trina. Donna, did you have anything?
No, it's good to see as many people here as there was.
Okay, yeah, and I'd just like to reiterate that. Thanks to everyone for coming. Thanks for bringing all the great questions and input. In the short time I've been on the board, I think a lot of our decisions have been impacted in a positive way by the input that we've received from the audience. So please continue to come. Please keep track of the meetings on the webpage. We will have everything posted there. We do also have the previous meetings available via YouTube links off of the webpage, so you can check those out at your leisure. So anyway, thanks for coming, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
And did we need an executive session tonight then?
We already had one.
I know, just making sure. I'll make the motion that we adjourn then at 7:25.
7:25.
I'll second that.
30 seconds. Very good. Do we have any discussion on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye, thank you.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.